from Larry Harris. More from Larry Harris with Monty Paul and Johnson on the Dubs Talk podcast in terms of changes. He talked about changes that the Warriors may make.
I just want the fans to know there's going to be some changes. It's going to be all right. It's going to work itself out because change is sometimes a little scary. But I think in the end, I think the goal is to win another championship, and I think we're headed back in that right direction. I truly believe that.
So did the change already happen, or are there more changes coming?
Oh, that's a great question.
I don't know.
Do you think another move's coming? It sure feels like it.
The Warriors want to make a splash, I feel like. Maybe there is. Maybe there's a sign and trade coming. Maybe there's.
They're trading Steph Curry.
Do you think fans would be disappointed if there's not another move coming? Like if they just bring Draymond Green back and you lost Jordan Poole, you got Chris Paul now. Granted, Chris Paul is a great question. It's a big move, but I think fans would be a little disappointed to see that's it.
That's a great question to end the show with.
I would be deflated.
That's a great question to end the show with. Would fans be disappointed if there was not another move made by the Golden State Warriors? Boy, I've seen some of the names like Torrey Craig and Gallinari, and I'm just like, ew.
Well, I like Saric, but like, is Saric moving the needle for their championship contention?
10 to 15 minutes, but he is another body.
No, he's really solid.
Saric.
I like Saric.
I think Saric could be your Bielitsa, if not a better Bielitsa. I actually like that. I'm not counting on Saric to win me big playoff games, but a guy who can eat up 15 minutes and provide some muscle inside. I like Dario Saric a lot. Let's go to
I agree.
Let's go to our boy Robert Cerebruto. Robert Cerebruto, what's happening?
What's going on, fellas? Look, man, if the Warriors are smart, they'll let Draymond walk. Prime example. Every time a new player comes and Draymond becomes the fourth option, he turns to a little a-hole. Jordan Poole, Kevin Durant. Let the market see what he's worth. If he's worth anything, let him get his $30 million. And then we'll see what he's really worth. But I'm not giving that guy that much money for his actions. And the way he acts to certain players, he get away with too much. He's not that great of a player. I'm tired, y'all, but he's not that great of a player.
What are you doing, Rob?
To get the leeway he's gotten.
Running up a hill? You getting ready for training camp?
No. I was on the treadmill.
I was going to say, I hope you're not in the bedroom.
Big Rob. Hey, you going to training camp this year?
Of course, I got to be up there. They doing my boy Trey bad, so I'm have to go up there and show some support to my guy. But
you know who won't be there, man. You know who won't be there, right?
I'll let Draymond walk.
You know who won't be there?
Who won't be there?
Joe Shasky the Butcher.
Oh, I thought you were going to say Brock Purdy.
Oh, I know the Shasky not going to be there?
Well, I don't know. I feel like I'm not going to be there because my wife's making me.
I think you jogging, Shasky. You going to be there, man. Come on, man.
No, the wifey's got to check.
Rob, you know how it goes. Sometimes you got to take one for the team.
That's right.
Big Rob, man.
I miss my guy.
Oh, man. Trading camps won't be off the chain, man.
Nick Bosa deal?
At least you won't miss all the training camp like I did. I mean, at least you'll be back for week 2 when they really start hitting.
I might wear pads that day.
Will you come in with eye black?
Yeah. You know what did I tell you what the new thing is for the little leaguers?
Yeah, they do the swag lines.
No. They use the stuff that you would make your chalk thing, and instead of smearing it, they now draw mustaches and goatees. It's hilarious. No, it's pretty funny.
All right.
It's pretty funny.
You know, I was thinking if we go to Philadelphia next season, and it's either the late regular season game or the NFC Championship game, I may wear eye black.
There's a 650 text that is the funniest one I've heard in a while. Rob from San Bruno has to get in shape because he's about to sit next to Jesus during 49er season.
That's what he always says. Where you sitting at, Big Rob? Oh, I'm sitting next to Jesus. That was the first time I ever heard that.
The best.
And I use it all the time.
Those
are the Jesus seats. The 400s up at Levi Stadium, boy, you are up there.
It's toasty up there, too.
Yeah, I have never walked up those stairs before, and I don't plan on walking up those stairs.
Did you see that Ty Jerome workout video?
Ty Jerome workout video?
Oh, yeah, he had a workout video.
I saw the Russell Wilson one. You guys see that one?
No.
It was like ice. I don't know what he was doing. He was like sliding back and forth on this, it looked like it was ice skating. It was
finger drills?
Anything Russ does just looks unserious at this point. I just can't take him seriously. I can't.
I actually think him and Sean Payton's going to be a disaster. Everybody says it's going to be awesome. I don't.
Jimmy G, Russell Wilson, week 1. Get after it.
I kind of like Sean Payton and Russell Wilson together.
Yeah, I'm actually fading them.
I actually think What's the Denver Broncos win total? Over or under win total?
Give it to me 7.5.
If it's 7.5, I'm taking the over.
I'm just guessing. I'll go right
8.5.
There you go.
Oh. If it was 7.5, I'm taking the over.
Vegas knows what they're doing with that
They just paid Mike McGlinchey $50 million of guaranteed money.
What division
50.
are they playing?
50.
AFC West? Are they playing the NFC North? Is it the Bears, Packers, Vikings, Lions this year?
Yes.
So I got 2 wins for the Broncos against the NFC North. I've got at least 2 wins in the AFC West. That's 4.
Against who?
They'll beat the Raiders.
Twice?
They'll beat the Chargers once.
So are the Raiders going to lose every game? Because they'll win a division game.
The Broncos
have put money on that.
The Broncos have not beaten the Raiders since the Raiders moved to Vegas.
Yeah,
that's not a foregone conclusion.
No, I'm saying they will beat them once.
Okay.
They'll beat them once this year.
And they're going to beat the Chiefs? Nope.
No, they're going to beat the Chargers once. Listen to me now. 2 wins against the AFC West. 2 wins against the NFC North. That's 4. Let me see if I can find another win here for them. Washington Commanders at home? That's a toss-up game.
I like the Commanders' defense, but their offense is...
Yeah, I'm not feeling that.
As a Terry McLaurin's fantasy owner, I'm like, fall down 2 touchdowns so we can start throwing here.
Minnesota,
Ron Rivera, allergic to the forward pass.
AFC East and NFC North.
Yeah, so I got 2 wins against the North, 1 against Chicago, 1 against Minnesota at home on Sunday Night Football.
Okay, so
that's 2 wins, 2 against the AFC West. They'll beat the Patriots at home. That's 5 wins. Cleveland at home. That's 6. I'll give them 6. They play Green Bay at home. It could be 7. I don't know. That over-under is nasty. I'm going to lay off of that.
Thank you.
I'll lay off of that one.
Thank you.
It was 7.5. I was taking it over. By the way, the Cavaliers are open to trading Darius Garland.
So Sexton and Garland both going to be gone in consecutive off seasons.
Yeah.
Interesting.
I would see what they could get for Donovan Mitchell.
Would you take Donovan Mitchell?
On the Warriors, no.
Why?
They don't need another guard unless you're flipping Klay. And he's a small guard who gets cooked defense.
Yeah.
We saw him in Utah. I like Donovan a lot.
But that 5-guard lineup that we all want is going to come to fruition. Klay playing the small ball 5.
So we haven't even. What are we doing? We spent 3.5 hours talking Giants and Warriors. We haven't even gotten to the big news from yesterday.
What's that?
What the hell are we doing here on the morning roast? What is going on? We didn't get into what Klay Thompson and Steph Curry said yesterday.
What's going on here?
Yeah, what is going on here? So Steph Curry and Klay Thompson spoke right before the match. And what are the quotes from Steph Curry? Now I want to get everybody's thoughts on how did we do that? Oh, my God, what a blunder. You hate losing Jordan Poole.
Be better at your job.
I need to be better. That's a tough part of the business. It's a great opportunity for them. It's just you get to know someone like that, build a friendship, build a bond, but we're trying to win next year, and CP can help us do that. Again, he said at the last line, we're trying to win next year, and CP can help us do that. Do you perceive that as a shot at Jordan Poole saying, you know what? I love Jordan Poole, but I don't know if we can win with him. With Chris Paul, we're trying to win, and he can help us do that. What did you think of that quote from Steph yesterday?
I just think it's just a cliche thing you say whenever someone gets traded who's younger or whatever in any situation. Like, Steph doesn't give you fodder just for fodder. I don't know. I think we're all reading way too much into every single tweet and every single comment and every single thing that anyone says. I don't know. I just think it's a cliche thing that you say. Like, of course, you bring in CP3, you're trying to win a championship. Isn't that what their setting is? Right?
I think so.
I mean, you think it's something like...
I mean, it's just interesting. He said, he didn't have to say that. He goes, hey, we welcome CP3. We're trying to win another championship. But CP3 can help us do that, and we're trying to win. So there's some underlying things there.
The Darius Garland thing, now that he's available, do you wish that maybe Jordan Poole was dealt for him?
Nah, because he's more of a scorer. I mean,
I'm just asking.
It's been interesting to see what his market would have been. Darius Garland, what's his numbers look like?
Because I think my biggest issue with the trade is that I don't think the return was great at all.
Well,
and that might be more of an indication of Poole's value, and I'm in denial.
And the contract kicking in. There's maybe some teams I don't think Jordan Poole's worth $28 million a season.
That could be fair.
You know, like that's a very strong consideration there. Darius Garland, 21 points last year, 8 assists, shot 46% from the floor, 41% from three. Damn.
I mean, he was really good. Cavs were a fun
old.
team last year.
No, they were a fun team. They got bounced in the first round. Garland's interesting. Now his contract kicks in. Think about what he's going to make.
What's he going to make?
Oh, my gosh. He signed an extension July 8th, 2022. So next season, Darius Garland is going to make $33.5 million.
Which is already $5 million more than what approximately.
The year after that, $36 million.
Yeah, that's a lot of money.
38.8 the next year. 41.5. Then it goes up to $44.2 million. It's a lot of money for Darius Garland.
It is.
Who's 6'1" and a very small guard.
Who's a flawed player.
Yeah, I'm. Now,
I'm just asking.
Klay Thompson spoke about Chris Paul as well. Klay Thompson said, anytime you get to play with a player who's one of the best of your generation, it's an honor. It's a little weird because we have so many battles in the past with Chris, and he's led so many teams that nearly knocked us off or did knock us off all the way back in 2014. I think he's just going to add such a calming presence and leadership component that we need. I know Steph and him have a long history together being both from North Carolina. For me, it's going to be a smooth transition playing with such a passer and playmaker. I'm just excited.
I think it's exactly what I'm thinking. If I'm envisioning the scenario for Klay Thompson and this team to have their maximum best version, it's someone like Klay really benefiting from someone like CP3 on the floor.
It sounds like the Splash Brothers are excited about having Chris Paul.
Hell yeah.
And having a guy who, should I say, stabilize your second unit.
You don't like
slow things down.
That term, stabilize?
I always use stabilize. I love stabilize.
Oh.
Stabilizing things.
It's just, I think we're all underselling what they're expecting from CP3. This whole, he'll only play 20 minutes a game. He's going to be a second unit guy. He's not going to close games. I think some of that's got to give a little. I think he's going to play more than people expect.
He'll close some games. The Raptors, according to Tim Kawakami, reportedly rejected a Jordan Poole for OG Anunoby trade offer from the Warriors.
Straight up?
Yeah.
Wow.
They said no. That's according to Tim Kawakami.
Interesting.
So they were after OG Anunoby.
Why does the Toronto feels like they overvalue their guys too?
Yeah, I don't know what they're doing up there.
AJ Anunoby.
I love the way he says it like he knew, like, that guy.
AJ Anunoby.
So no big deal with what Curry said at the end there with that quote.
No, why? You do?
I don't think it's a big deal, but it kind of lets me into Curry's mind and how they felt about Jordan Poole. And look, they said, he said, you hate losing JP. I know it's not all the way official yet, so I don't want to talk too much before.
Clearly, Curry wasn't.
That's a tough part of the business, seeing a young guy come into his own and then get traded. It's a great opportunity for him. It's just you get to know someone like that, build a friendship, build a bond. It's tough to see him go. But, we're trying to win next year, and CP can help us do that. That to me is like, wow. They just need someone to run that second unit, come in and close games. Because that's the thing. Poole did close with them. And at times they felt like Poole didn't make the greatest decisions. Now you can say the same thing about Klay, say the same thing about Draymond Green, you can say the same thing about Steph at times. But Chris Paul's efficient. He's not going to turn the ball over. It feels like the head honcho here, Steph Curry, is on board with this.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think they would have made the move if Steph didn't, at some level, nod his head, right? So, I mean, I kind of had that working assumption to begin with.
Yeah. Wow. So, Steph, and we'll see them on the match tomorrow. Again, according to Tim Kawakami, the Raptors, the Warriors, were trying to look for OG Anunoby, but the Raptors were not interested. And also the Warriors had talks with the Celtics and had interest from the Spurs. But it was tough to match up a trade for that. So the Warriors were shopping Poole the whole time. They were shopping Poole. And is that disappointing that they just said, you know what? We know who we're rolling with. We want Draymond Green back. We're going to shop our 23-year-old who just turned 24. We're going to shop him after the season. It feels like the Warriors maybe they're admitting that, you know what? Maybe we prematurely paid him. Is there any of that?
I'm sure there's a part. Yeah, that's baked into it. There's no doubt. But I know you keep like rolling your eyes at me because I keep bringing up the money. I do think that the money moving forward, because of the way the CBA is really set up. I mean, every person we've talked to.
I'm rolling my eyes when it comes to how much money they're making, how much they're giving up,
but
revenue
I think
and all that stuff.
Their ability to field a team based on the rules of the CBA, I think, is a big part of how they're viewing certain contracts.
No doubt.
Right? And so dipping into the luxury tax is one element, and then literally fielding the team around them based on the rules that are set in place,
no doubt,
I think is another part. And I do think that that's a huge part of the Jordan Poole thing.
So according to Tim Kawakami's article here in The Athletic, the Warriors are aiming to drop below the second payroll apron by next July, which is when the most punitive aspects of the new CBA start hitting. They want their taxpayer mid-level exception back.
Yes.
They used part of that to sign DiVincenzo last summer, of course, but the new CBA is taking their mid-level exception away. They don't want to be banned from being able to aggregate salaries and trades, and they don't want their future first-round picks frozen. They simply don't want to get stuck in second apron hell without many of the tools they've used in the past to add talent. So now the Warriors have two ways out next July. They can let Chris Paul go after the season. They can let Klay go after the season, or they can re-sign one or both for much less money. If they let both go, the Warriors could even get all the way out of the luxury tax and reset their repeater tax count.
So the way I've interpreted it is that you lose X amount of years in a row first round picks to trade. Mm-hmm. You cannot trade them if you are so over the tax, which is where they're at currently. So you see like a deal, and I'm just using an example. Paul George got traded for how many first rounders?
Right.
4 or 5 or whatever, staggered over a 10-year period. You couldn't even execute a trade like that given where they are financially right now. So if you want to get hypotheticals, you want to get a Giannis, you want to trade for whoever, and you got to throw in a bunch of first-round draft picks, you can't even do that right now.
Mm-hmm. No doubt. So they're all in on Chris Paul for this season. They're going to reset their books here. The big question is, what do you do with Klay Thompson? It's one thing to extend Steve Kerr, but what do you do with Klay Thompson after the season?
And
big year for him.
And what do you do with Klay Thompson if you retain Draymond Green at a certain price point? How does he view that? How does that fit?